In this video, we'll show how you can create user-defined data controls for a UX component. So when you go to the UX builder and you go to the toolbox on the left-hand side, if you go to data controls and you scroll down to the end, you'll see there's a section here called More, which contains a whole bunch of additional UX controls that were developed by Alpha. So what we're going to show in this video is how you can create your own controls that will show up automatically in the toolbox when you go and you either click the More button or when you click the Add Control button. So in order to create a user-defined data control, you start with a ViewBox. So let's go ahead now and choose a ViewBox control. And then, so I'll just call this VV1. And then when you create the ViewBox, you start out with a template. So you'll go there to the Home tab and you'll click on Load Sample ViewBox, and you'll choose this option here called Template for User-Defined Custom Control. And that's going to basically create a template that has a ViewBox layout that is nothing more than just a call to a JavaScript function called myControl, which is defined over here. So let's go here and just replace the return value of this function to return, and then my custom data control, and I'll go ahead there and click OK. So there's my ViewBox. Let's go ahead and run it, and we're going to basically do some more work on this ViewBox, and then ultimately we're going to save it as a custom control. So let's go back to the design of our ViewBox, and we'll go now to our data source. And we can see that the data source currently has a few properties. So it's got prop 1, prop 2, color, and image. So let's go and consume those properties in our JavaScript. So we'll go here and we'll say that we want to put this text in a span with a style equal to color. And initially I'm going to hard code it to red, but then I'm going to change it so that it's based on the data in the data source. So I'll just go there and say red. Let's close off the span over there, and then close the span over there. Go ahead and click OK, and now run it. So we should now see our text in red. But if we go back to our ViewBox and look at our data source, we can see that we have a property here called color, which is currently set to green. So let's go over here to change this to use the property of v.green. So basically the data that was set over here is available in this .data, and so I've just made a variable called v which points to this .data. So I'm going to go there and go single quote, and then plus, and then go v.color. Go ahead and click OK, and now run it. So now we see the text in green because that's what we've set as the value of the property. So the next thing that I'm going to do is go to this control, and because this is a data control, it has a value which can be set by setting the default value, or it can be read and set in JavaScript using the set value and get value methods. So I'm going to go here and set a value of, say, 45, and then I'm going to consume that value inside the display. So I'll go back to my JavaScript here, and we can see that there's the value, and I'll go here, so my custom control, and then I'll go here and say value is, and then quote, and then I'll go here and say plus, and then I'll just put in a value over there. So we're going to be basically printing out the value of the control. So we'll go ahead now to working preview, and we'll see the value is 45. And if we go now to the Chrome debugger and we say dialog.object, and then we go here and we say set value of this control called VB1, and we're going to go set the value to 99. So there you can see we see 99 over there. Now if we want to go and we change the value of the color property, I can go here and I can say var obj is equal to dlg1 dot and then get control, and get a pointer to this control called VB1. So now I have an object here which points to this custom control. So I'm going to go here and say data.color, and you can see that currently it's set to green. I'm going to go here and set it to pink, and then if I do obj.refresh, then we can see we've changed it to pink. So this ViewBox is acting very much like a standard control, but it's not a user-defined UX control right now. So let's go back to design mode and go back over here, and now we'll click on the More button and we'll choose Save it as a custom control, and we'll call it over here My First Control. We'll give it an icon, so we'll go and select, it has to be a built-in image, so we'll go there and choose say that image over there. Let's actually choose the Excel image, click OK, give it a description, so this is my first simple control, and now this is where we can define the prop grid that is displayed when you configure your custom control. So these were the properties that we saw in the ViewBox data. So we saw property 1, property 2, color and image, but we can make color into a special control type that has a color picker. So I'll go here and type in color, and we can make image into a special type by typing in image over there. So this is explained over here when you press the explain icon, or when you click the show syntax icon over there as well. So now I'm going to go and click OK, and this is going to save a custom control. So now if I go back into the builder, into the UX builder, so let's close this down and delete that control there, so there's no controls now. And now let's go back and add a data control. So we'll go there and press More, but now you can see that in the list of available data controls, there's my UX control, my custom UX control. So I'll go ahead there and say My First Control, and I'll just call it C1, and then I'll go and double click on it to define the control properties. So we see the prop grid that we created, so prop 1, prop 2, color and image. I can go and set any of these values. So let's go and change the value of this color property to say this deep orange color over there, and then go ahead and run it, and then go ahead over to working preview, and we can see there's my custom control. And if we go there and set a default value, let's go here and set say 32 and run it. We see it says 32. So what we've shown in this video is how you can basically create your own data-bound custom controls by building them using the ViewBox, and then how you can add those controls to your UX component. Thank you very much for watching.